warming means that the world is warming up. The world warming up is like a greenhouse in the sun. That's the simple explanation. The whole explanation requires a little more detail. When the world came out of the last ice age, the entire world became 5 degrees warmer over 5,000 years. If we keep living the way we're doing right now, the world is going to become 5 degrees warmer than it is, but this time it's going to happen over only 1 century. So why is it going so fast all of a sudden? Well, we're the ones to blame this time, and this is not the time to cut corners. The Earth has a natural atmosphere called the ozone layer around it to keep in some heat. This happens because some of the radiation from the sun rays does not go back through the ozone layer but is reflected down to the Earth and stays here. This is good, because if we did not have this layer, we would be freezing all the time.
What is not very good is the fact that since the industrialization in the beginning of the 1800s, we have used way more energy than we used to do. When coal and oil is burned, the gas CO2 is pumped into the atmosphere like the way fuel is pumped into a car. CO2 makes the natural greenhouse gas thicker and better at trapping the heat from the sun, and the more heat that is trapped, the warmer it gets on Earth. We've never had more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere than we have right now. Global warming will definitely ruin opportunities for the next generation, not only by increasing temperatures on Earth, but also creating more extreme weather conditions and possibly ending in things like world hunger, and it will therefore have a huge impact on our lives on Earth. Even though there's a chance it's not as bad as feared, the severity is agreed on by 97% of scientists, therefore creating a scientific consensus. So what does this mean?
We can all agree that global temperature is rising, which means that many different things are going to happen. Water levels are rising all over the world, and that means that Earth, as we know it, will be pushed to a limit. If we don't stop this development, huge coastal areas are going to be underwater. Those cities are New York, Bangladesh, Alexandria, New Orleans, Ho Chi Minh City, and list goes on and on. This means that not only is a relocation effort needed in the coastal cities, but mass migration is also going to occur. So people in areas that are exposed to this must flee. Where do you think they're going to flee? They're going to flee to the west. Besides many countries receiving these so-called climate refugees, world hunger is also a very realistic consequence of global warming. When weather conditions become more extreme and climates in different parts of the world change, the weather will eventually not be suitable for growing crops. Not being able to grow crops in as many places as we have earlier done results in less food produced and therefore starvation for some people. Remember, all of this can be stopped. I have personally done many things to help. I have advised several federal agencies and 7 presidents including Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. I have also helped the government of South Australia with climate problems. In this time period, the area I helped went from not using any renewable energy at all to 31% of their entire energy consumption. You could also do something to help.
So, now that you're up to date with the true reality of this crisis, that leaves you with one question. What can be done? Well, lots and lots of things can be done. Of course, since we've been ignoring the warnings of scientists for a long time, the situation has now escalated to a point that will require tremendous efforts from all around the world. But actually, even the smallest of gestures can affect the bigger picture. All you have to do is keep this simple mental toolbox in mind. For example, you can walk or bike to school instead of driving your car, you can eat less meat, you can recycle or reuse your stuff, you can turn off your electronic devices when you're not using them. And most importantly, you can spread your knowledge about the matter just like Stephen Snyder. So we can work on a solution together. If you remember to grab your mental toolbox when you swing out the door every morning, you are doing yourself, our planet, and everyone on it a great favor.